Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to our original morning time. I don't think any of us like the winter hours. I don't think a lot of us like the I don't think a lot of us like the daylight savings to begin with. So the only thing I envy about Arizona, they never have to feel any different about the hours. So heading personal conveyance back down to the truck stop, hook up to the trailer real quick. I threw a kingpin lock on it. I just don't trust leaving a trailer unattended with no trailer securement. I have done it in the past, but I'm not a big fan of doing it. Not on a general basis. Like, I'd be more accepted over an empty trailer being stolen than a trailer loaded with product that I'm supposed to deliver. Because that's a mark, kind of a mark against me personally. I mean, it could still happen. Somebody could still bust that lock off. They're gonna fight like heck to get it off because it's a kingpin lock, but they could still do it. So that first picture I started off with is a picture I just took this morning at the beginning of my road. I just looked out my window, and this time in the morning I'm not used to seeing that pretty sun creeping up over the horizon. So it's still got a pretty good shot right there through the woods. I don't know how well you guys can make it out. Probably not very well. So anyway, before I show you guys a picture of my old house. Do not miss living there. Trying to crank this heat up a little bit. It is a little chilly out this morning. Not gonna lie about that. So yeah, we have, I know, 695 miles to Romeoville. I gotta find somewhere along the way, and I gotta make sure that I can be there by Romeoville. I have to be there by 7:30 tomorrow morning, Central Time. So I gained an hour at least. That's a plus side there. Now, where I'm sitting at right now is 650 miles, showing us getting there at 6:24 tonight. So when we do our road math calculation there, 6:24 is 4:24 in the morning with a 10-hour break. So we got plenty of time. 4:24 in the morning. So that means I have 3 hours to kill amongst traffic and any other type of delays. Plus, I can get over there towards... I would like to stop in Indiana around Portage. That's where all the major truck stops are. But throughout the day, I'll check out rest areas and stuff like that along the route and see if I can find something a little bit closer. Yeah, that's it. This load here is paying us $2,130. Like I said before, this past week, being that I didn't start working until Wednesday. Left the house Tuesday, got the trailer, went down towards the location of the load to pick up Tuesday evening. But we didn't actually pick up until Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning, Wednesday we picked up and delivered. Thursday we picked up, we delivered on Friday. We picked this load up on Friday, and this load is delivering Monday. Between those three loads, I'm at $49.70, which is pretty good. And luckily I don't have to take alpha percentage, because 100% comes to me. Yeah, so that's it. That's 6 minutes of the video. I'll do some road footage today. I'll do my best to get some good shots. Like I said, we got 650 miles of all highway and everything else. I mean, we're going from sun up to sundown, so I'll catch you on the other side. All right, good Monday morning. I found the delivery location. Got up a little earlier than needed to this morning, but we got here half an hour early. We got checked in. Sitting in the door right now. The road footage that's non-existent came out really good. So we left the pickup. I left the pickup on Friday, went straight home, and then I left out of the house first thing yesterday morning. It was like 10 after 7. So it was actually like 7 minutes late, but even with that and the time that I left and hooking up to the trailer, doing my pre-trip, getting everything together, I still had a few hours to kill. So stopped a few times yesterday. I probably did 2 30-minute breaks, and had to stop and get fuel. Fuel was actually cheaper in New York than it was in Ohio, surprisingly. I went back and checked the numbers for fuel over at Mercer, and Mercer's actually only getting about 1 to 2 cents cheaper per gallon than I am. The only places they really beat me on yesterday, I mean, they beat me everywhere by 1 or 2 cents, but the only places that were more than 1 or 2 cents was the Indian Reservation, which there was no discount there. It was just no taxes. That for some reason doesn't pop up on my card. I don't know. It should be accepted anywhere that EFS is accepted. So I don't know if it just doesn't pop up the locations. I know I can go use it at those locations. So those were like $2.70 a gallon or something like that. But I've really got to find out, now that I do my own IFTA and stuff, I got to find out what the IFTA implications are when it comes to buying fuel there. I mean, technically, it just asks how many gallons I bought. So I'm not actually paying any taxes up front. I don't know. I have to break that down, or maybe if somebody that watches this can give me an idea. But I gotta do a little more research into it. I have no problem going to pick up fuel at the Indian Reservation, but if I did that yesterday, I would have saved probably about 9 cents more per gallon. But I ended up getting it in Pembroke, New York, which is also known as Corfu. It's what I've always known it as when we had the truck stop books. I'm sure I have one around here somewhere. I believe it said Corfu in there. Whether I pronounced it right or not, that's a different story. The one place they did beat me at was Jim's Truck Plaza. That was $2.70 something a gallon too. I ended up spending $2.82 a gallon, and then when I looked over at Ohio, which I expected to be like 15 cents cheaper, Ohio was like $2.85. So I don't know if Ohio just recently had a tax increase or not, but usually Ohio is a lot cheaper for me. So I don't know, I'm just going by what prices are showing up on my thing. And that was the whole reason I went to Mercer, because I still got my fuel card from Mercer in the system there. So I just go in and I look every now and again just to do a little comparison to see how much better I could be doing. 1-2 cents a gallon isn't nothing. I keep way more than that in my extra 25%. So I'm not disappointed in any way. But they were the same. It was cheaper in New York than it was in Ohio. So I didn't look Indiana or anything like that because I need fuel over there. Now I'm going to look again this morning and find out if it's cheaper in Indiana, Illinois, and stuff like that. I really got to get a grasp on IFTA. I have the general census of IFTA. No matter what you do when it comes to IFTA, the state is going to charge what they're going to charge. So whatever fuel you use in that state, they're going to charge you for that fuel off of the basis based on what your miles per gallon is, and that's how they're going to charge you. So like New York has they have a fuel tax, and then on top of that they have a heavy highway use tax, which basically means that they're going to charge you for the gallons that you use, and they're going to charge you for the miles that you drive. But it also depends on how many of those miles were on regular roads or regular interstate versus like I-90 or I-87 where it's toll roads. So they charge you different rates on those. I don't think they still charge you for your fuel tax, but they don't charge you for your mileage tax because you're already paying for the toll road, is my understanding of it. So what I try to do is find the cheapest fuel, and that's something I didn't do yesterday. I'm so used to Mercer's system where they pay for everything that has to do with IFTA, whether you're up or down. They just pay the balance, which I'm sure it just mostly balances out for them. But the thing that I tried to stay on top of is taking the taxes off the pump. And if I don't take the taxes off the pump, so yesterday it showed that New York was cheaper by a few cents compared to Ohio. But if Ohio's taxes are more than New York now, then Ohio's fuel would be cheaper, if that makes any sense. So if you got, we'll just use rough numbers, the fuel is $3.50 a gallon, and New York's taxes are 45 cents a gallon, and Ohio's fuel tax is 50 cents a gallon, then at the pump it looks like Ohio is more expensive than New York by 5 cents. Let me restate that. They're both are $3.50 a gallon, so it looks like they're the same. If you take off New York's 45 cents, it's $3.05. If you take off Ohio's tax at 50 cents, it's $3 a gallon. So with those numbers, you would want to buy your fuel in Ohio because the fuel cost is cheaper than it is in New York. Just like when you go buy a bottle of soda at the gas station, it says $1.19 plus tax. The problem is you find out what the tax is when you get to the register, where when you get fuel or even gas, the tax is already included. So you got to take that tax off to find out what you're actually paying for the fuel. And that's where people have a hard time with it, and that's why a lot of people, and well, not a lot of people pay in. A lot of people don't end up paying in, actually, because they have the notion in their head that, oh, if they get a little bit of fuel in every state, they won't have to pay taxes at the end of the year. It's not, or at the end of the quarter. It's not a bad thing to pay taxes at the end of the quarter. There's no problems paying taxes at the end of the quarter. I'd rather pay $50 to $100 to $150, whatever the taxes are at the end of the quarter, than to receive a refund or to not have to, you know what I mean, just be at zero. They don't owe me, I don't owe them. That's the worst case and scenario. Worst scenario. Mostly because when you have things like that, you've paid way too much in the taxes that they owe you money, or you've paid, you either way you look at it, you overpaid. Whether it's you overpaid on taxes or you overpaid on your fuel. Because if you went to those higher, you went and bought fuel at each state that you drove through, you didn't take advantage of which state had the cheaper fuel. Because no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you're still going to pay for the tax for the fuel you use in that state based off your miles per gallon. And that's essentially how it works. But there's a couple states here and there. I know I think it's Indiana that has something funny about it. And I honestly don't remember what it was. I think there's like an extra tax if you didn't buy fuel in their state. There's like an extra tax. So you want to get some fuel from Indiana. I don't know. I really got to get with somebody that I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a better understanding of it than most people. But I still got to get somebody that can really break it down for me, state by state. I understand getting the fuel at the raw cheapest amount, pre-tax fuel, less ifta, if you will, as possible. But understanding the rules of each state for ifta is what I really need to understand more clearly. And I've been planning on making a huge video on this, but I need to get with somebody to understand those states, or each state's ruling, before I lay out a complete video on ifta. So anyway, that's it. I went off of my little rant on fuel. We got fuel in Pembroke, New York. I topped off there. I'm just over half a tank now. I do think here shortly, in the next few weeks, as it starts warming up, I'm going to replace all the stuff on my fuel tanks. The sending unit is the number one thing that I want to get changed. And then you have the vents and stuff on top of the fuel tank. I meant to install it, this here. It's a new filter for the bunk heater. New fuel filter that I want to switch that out and see how that goes. I was going to switch out the atomizer and everything inside the heater itself, but it still works. So I think it's just having a filter issue. So I want to get that filter changed out. Where I picked up fuel. Oh, because of I was looking at the fuel gauge. So I got my fuel, and then we just drove straight across to Ohio, Indiana. I ended up staying, it was about 45 miles from here. Lake Station, Indiana. I stayed at the Flying J there. There really wasn't anywhere to park between there and here. I mean, I could have went a couple miles further to Gary, Indiana, but I know Lake Station has plenty of parking. I mean, Flying J is a huge parking lot, and then TA is right down the road. They got a pretty huge parking lot, and usually between those two, there's always spaces. I don't think I've ever been through there where there's never been a space available. Everybody pretty much goes to Gary and the other few pilots and Petro and stuff like that that's right there. But got up this morning, came over here, like I said, got here at 7, and now I'm just waiting on a green light. I do have a bid in for Montgomery, New York, picking up 4 miles down the road for $3,800. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to probably drop the bid back down a little bit and try to... It was a bid only, so I'm just trying to get a little nudge out there. It doesn't pick up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, so we'll see what happens. And I will let you guys know. So the end of this video is here. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we will see you sooner than later.